All right, sorry, Gary.
Yahoo! I'm
Yep.
doing it.
Good. Go, Gary.
Okay, so background to this, this is an informal survey. It's not scientific in any way. A few people from the EDC and a couple from the Cornwall Association came up with the questions to put out to the newcomers. There were 65 new home buyers within the last 12 months. Actually, there are more than 65. We don't have any numbers for renters as those are not registered with the town. Over 30 of the new home buyers did attend the newcomers tea. It was the largest newcomers tea we've had. And we've had 22 responses. So I'm going to summarize what those people told us, and just bear in mind, it's informal, but it gives us a bit of a picture of what was driving them into to buying in Cornwall. So first question that we had was, which came first to you in choosing Cornwall? And the majority identified the house, and then some identified the town, and there's an overlap. 4 people chose both. What attracted you to Cornwall? The majority are saying access to nature, natural environment, with next in line people I know in Cornwall and nearby towns, and the school system coming in third. Other issues as identified in the bottom: working in Kent, central to Litchfield, the remoteness of our town, no commercial center, the quietness, open space, and farmland. So I'm encapsulating in the summary everything that people told us. How much did you know about Cornwall before starting your search? The vast majority knew a little bit or a fair amount or next to nothing, and a few knew a lot about Cornwall. And to these new home buyers, 10 of them, it's full-time residents, and and 6 are using this as a weekend part-time residence, and 5 of additionally intend in the future to make it a full-time home. Where did they come from? New York City and the environment around New York is 6, over 100 miles away, 4 people, and nearby towns 3. Bearing in mind that all these questions, not everyone answered each of them. And how many are living in their houses? Adults only, adults and under 12-year-olds, and adults with 13 to 18-year-olds. Just get this out of the way. And more towards the business of Cornwall, the question was, where do you do your primary food shopping? And the majority are doing it local, Litchfield County. 5 are saying they're bringing it in from outside the area. And the question that was one of the key things we were looking at to find out is, what are people interested in having in Cornwall? And the vast majority are saying cafe, restaurant, some sort of a residential, resident eating place. A grocery is another request. And then at the very bottom, 1 each for a variety of ideas and thoughts. And finally, what activities do you, your family do in and around Cornwall? And you're seeing hiking, biking, swimming, and a variety of outdoor activities. In the last. So we also asked, what were they looking at? What other towns? And Sharon and Kent were the majority respondents, as well as Salisbury, Washington, and Warren. So as we see from this, the people that chose Cornwall were looking all throughout Litchfield County, but centered in, sort of Cornwall. That is the summary of the survey. There were 2 other questions which asked just what did they like? And the list went on and on, so I didn't put it in here. But this gives us some indications of what brings people to Cornwall from the people that came to Cornwall. Reinforces, I'm sure, a lot of our perceptions. And then just finally, this is not scientific. It was an informal survey, but it has some useful information.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Gary. Any other comments you want to make?
Nope.
Any other insights you got from that survey?
No.
Okay. So the main thing people are looking for is that cafe kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. So communications, we actually got letters from Gary Steinkohl, who just spoke, from Mayor Rubin, and from Bill McLean, who have asked to join the EDC. So we're going to hear from them in just a minute. If you guys can hang tight for just a few minutes, and if you don't mind doing so. Okay, Kate, why don't we do the treasurer's report, please? And if I need to help you, just let me know. Kate, you're on mute.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
It's on the agenda for tonight, but I just need to switch around my screens. Sorry about that. So we have $6,195 in the budget, and we got that pretty much planned out for last meeting. So that's really all I have there to say. I thought that.
I can add a little bit more just from our minutes. We had budgeted buy hire local $1,000, Wi-Fi in Cornwall Village $1,500, Christmas display and event $1,200, radio spots $500. For the Cornwall website, we allotted $900, and then we had $900 left to spend. So that was, I think, but we had something else that we had also talked about. Oh, another $300 for social media. For the Cornwall website folks. So they've spent, Kate, just so you know, they've spent about $510 to date. They updated all their software. So they're kind of all set on that. And then they've got the social media left to spend. Okay.
Hold on just a second. I'm just trying to write all this down, and I'm
No, I'll send it to you. No, don't even sweat it. I will send that to you. And you and I can have a conversation tomorrow too. Don't even sweat.
Okay.
All right. Any other conversation on that? Questions? Okay. So from Gordon, if you want to talk about anything with P&Z or water and septic, any updates there?
Let's see, not too much on P&Z. They are working on reformatting the regulations to make them compliant with a bunch of state regulations and make them more user-friendly. I think the next big project is going to be, we do have a hearing on the housing plan on next Wednesday, December 8th. And there's quite a few recommendations for planning and zoning in that plan. So especially concerning making accessory apartments, widening the application of accessory apartments. So that's one thing they're working on. The water and septic is up in the air a bit because of the federal budget negotiations that are still going on, very much tied to that. So I'm in pretty steady contact with our congressional office to find out which part of which budget is the funding for that going to be in. So we should get a read on that fairly soon, and be able to move ahead with a vote as soon as we figure out the funding mechanism. So that's a thumbnail sketch of a couple different things.
Okay. Anything else, Gordon?
No, thanks.
Okay, good. Okay, on promoting Cornwall. So the Buy Hire Local campaign launched on the 27th, right before Small Business Saturday. So there was some social that was done. I have stickers, and I need to get these out because we'll be focusing heavily on this program in December and January. And they turned out really cute. So I don't know if you guys can see, there's 4 stickers on one, but they're, like it's a kind of thing. So I'll take these around to some of the vendors. We're going to have most of them over at the local, but I've started, dropping these off at different places. So just, if you get a chance and you see some of these, like I'll put some in the post office, I'll drop some off around town. The bulk of them will be over at the local, because we kind of made that the hub of this campaign. And the ladies over there are going to be handing those out also. So, and just encouraging people to buy local. We do have, I think, over 40 vendors now at the local selling their stuff. So that's wonderful news for all of us. Let's see, there's also a webpage, so it's on the Cornwall site. So if you want to take a look at that, you certainly can, but it's under the EDC stuff. So Rocco put that together and it looks really beautiful. I'm really happy with that. We'll be doing some paid advertising in December. And I actually reached out to a local guy who's a voiceover to do some of the holiday radio spots. So I thought that would be kind of fun to do too. Anybody have any questions on that?
Sorry, was it stickers that you had at the local?
Yeah, there'll be stickers at the local, and then some of the vendors in town will have some too. We're dropping them off at a couple of folks in town too. But the hub of it will be at the local. So if you want stickers and you're a vendor or somebody who just wants to hand them out, then you can stop by and get them. There'll be a stack of them at the local.
Could such be mentioned in the Selectmen's newsletter that gets posted every week to the public? Because that would really draw people to the website, because quite frankly, if I hadn't had the information, I wouldn't have known, and many people have not known about, this campaign. So that is really a good way to, start somewhere. Also, what I would like to get, because we've had some issues with how is money allocated. I would like to see a better idea of what these $1,000 are being allocated towards, so that we don't wind up with questions such as from Nora that can be quite annoying at times, and have a better idea for the public, because we are spending the public's money. So if we could get that.
Just so you know, Bianca, each item, there has to be a receipt. So the receipt has to be given to Barbara, and then that's all documented. Yeah, so we get an updated report every month. Then I can make sure to get that to Kate so that she can cover that if you'd like.
Also to us, because when we did the maps, Jane, Harold, and myself, we had to state before the committee what we were spending the money on. So I would like to see that with this campaign too, because that keeps everyone in the loop on the committee as to where the money is spent. Otherwise, I feel like,
yeah, well, there's no money
I have no idea
unless it's been accounted for.
Right.
And I will certainly, Kate and I can talk tomorrow. We can just make sure that there's a report given back to the committee.
That would be lovely.
No problem at all. That's a very good idea.
Just keeps everything sane in the end,
Of course.
Yeah,
of course. Then you know how much you got.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Exactly.
Bianca. That's good. Any other questions, comments, suggestions? Okay, cool. As you see this stuff roll out, I'm going to be pulling in a couple other people to work on that too. Go ahead, Bianca.
So the Lakeville Journal is doing banner ads for the holiday season. There's a deadline this Friday for such. That might be a good place. They're $99 for a 3.7 by 2 inch ad, and that might be a good way to get things rolling.
Mhm.
I can forward you the email that this is based
do
on.
it. Yeah, because
Okay,
I
I will
already
do
have
that.
the creative in my computer. Yeah, no problem. That's a terrific idea. If you forward that would be great.
I will.
Thank you, Bianca. Okay. Anybody else? Comments, suggestions? As you see this stuff rolling out and you have other ideas, let's, we can pull together, we can, add other stuff in the mix, because, we do have, we have a couple of unaccounted dollars. So if we do find something that's interesting that we think can help this campaign, then let's talk about it. And obviously we'd have to come back. If it's not in this budget, we would have to come back to the group. But, we want to run this campaign over the next couple months anyway, so we have some opportunity to do that. So I think that's fantastic.
Also, Janet, if you have imagery that you can send me, I can send it over to WHDD, because anything that is non-for-profit gets put on radio or on the internet
Okay.
base there too.
Yeah, so I can I'll send you the logo. If you can
Yeah.
just remind me to do that.
Yeah. I'll do that when I send you the
Perfect,
Lakeville Journal info.
perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, I need to have something in front of me to remind me.
Yeah.
Right, you get
Who
that,
doesn't?
right? Thank you very much. Okay, anything on housing updates? Either Priscilla or Gordon, if you have anything on that.
Yeah, as we said, the hearing on the housing plan is next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. So I think we had 56 people at a similar event recently, and it's interesting. And then it goes to the selectmen to vote on. So anyway, a lot of stuff in that plan. It's available, drafts available at the website. So check it out. Thank
Okay.
you. And where's Priscilla? Priscilla, how's it? I
Priscilla,
mean,
anything? Yeah, go ahead,
and-
Priscilla, please.
the housing market is just incredibly dynamic. I mean, I think the least expensive house for sale in Cornwall right now is $670,000. Very little rental things, so the market's incredibly tight. So there are people buying land, but they're not building, or they're building a little bit just because the cost of materials is also skyrocketed. So it's a very dynamic time for housing.
Excellent. Priscilla, unmute yourself. There you go.
That better?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It's very difficult in Cornwall right now because nothing's affordable. I mean, there's a $10 million property with a Italian villa on it that I'd love to be selling, but I don't have a $10 million client. And as Gordon mentioned, the least expensive house currently on the market, it's lovely, but it's $679,000. And so if you're a local person, or what I'm faced with oftentimes is the next generation of people to whom I've sold houses, right now, currently, we don't have anything to offer. And it's very frustrating. So, but I still love being in Cornwall. I'm glad I'm here.
Right.
Priscilla, are any of those properties opportunities that could be bought by someone and turned into multi-family homes? Because I imagine some of them are fairly large. I don't know.
It would require a lot of construction because most of them are laid out with multiple bedrooms, each with its own bath, and a eat-in kitchen plus a dining room. And it would really take a lot of money to reconfigure them. And it really wouldn't be that desirable. I mean, it might make more houses, but it wouldn't be a benefit to that particular building. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Priscilla. Any other comments in the housing? Okay. We're going to move on to new business then. We have no old business at the moment. For new business, we're going to have Gary, Bill, and Mayor talk about why they want to join the EDC and what they kind of bring to the party. So why don't we start? We'll go in order. Gary, if you don't mind speaking for a minute. Sorry to put you on the spot, Gary.
Sure, certainly. I think I've always felt the EDC is vital to our town's current and future economic vitality. I believe my experience and involvement in the town over the last few years has served me well, and I hope to be able to serve the team on the EDC with my experience and continue to move the town forward.
Excellent. Thank you, Gary. Let's see, who's next? Bill, if you want to say something.
Sure. Just, I guess very briefly, this is the second year we'll be doing the holiday windows, which is nice. It's been a nice exposure to how the EDC works. I I think it works well. I think it, I think there's room for sort of growth and more creativity there with stuff as well, and that's nice. I think it's a sort of a nice organization that kind of goes a little bit under the radar, but does very important work. So, I hope that, you guys would see my expertise as, I don't know. I mean, I've spent my life basically making documentaries. So there's a fair amount of communication that I'm comfortable with. I've managed creative teams, and every time you do a documentary, you're sort of starting a new business venture, from scratch, fundamentally, from staffing and goal management and everything like that. So I think I have a pretty good sense of that kind of organization, and I just hope that, I think it would be an honor to do, and hopefully you guys would welcome my involvement. That's it.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill. All right, Mary, you're up.
Hi, everyone. I know many of you, but I have not met all of you. So I'm Mayor. I would love to contribute my skills and ideas to the EDC. First and foremost, just because I love Cornwall so much, and I feel very lucky to have become a full-timer after 15 years as a weekender. And my husband and I are, just very excited to kind of figure out our own personal future here. I have a background in marketing and brand management and own a small business along with my husband. It's a music school, rock band camp and school. And I'd just like to do what I can to see Cornwall prosper for residents and visitors alike.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. So I guess if you guys are comfortable doing it, if you guys, like, I don't want to make it awkward for you guys. So you can choose to stay or go, kind of Mayor, Bill, and Gary, as you wish. I mean, I don't know how much discussion there's going to be. You can, I guess I'll leave it to you to kind of, you can choose to stay if you're comfortable. If you'd prefer to sign off, that's okay too.
Well, if we went, it would hardly be a good bellwether, right? I mean, if we're not interested in finishing the meeting.
Right. Okay. I hear you. So, what we have to do as a group is we have to make recommendations to the Board of Selectmen. So, I think that, we've got 3 spots open right now. I'm actually acting as chair emeritus, I guess I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm actually not able to vote. And I would have recused myself anyway, because now I'm serving as selectwoman and I'd be voting on the other side. So I'm just going to simply be the spokesperson for these 3. We have 3 spots open. These are 3 very well qualified people who have eagerly stepped up and have offered their services to the town. I think you've seen a lot of these folks in action. And I think that they would be excellent candidates for this board. That being said,
So
let's
Janet, I have a question here. You're saying that they're,
okay, hold on just a second. Why don't we just get a motion and then we can get into discussion.
okay,
Fair enough? All right. Could I get a motion to make the recommendation to the Board of Selectmen that these 3 people, Gary, Bill, and Mayor, join the EDC?
I'll second that.
Okay, so I got a motion from Priscilla, seconded by Richard. Is there any discussion? Richard, would you like to take the discussion?
So yes, you're saying that there are, or will be, or 3 vacancies. There are 3 vacancies on the board.
Yes.
And there appear to be 3 individuals currently that have made some kind of step forward to ask to be appointed to the board. Are there other people that have done the same thing? Is there anybody else that's not necessarily present at this particular meeting?
There was another person who is not a they're not a voter in Cornwall. They're voting, they vote elsewhere.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand the pool of possible applicants that were interested.
Yes.
It-
Right
it-
now, we have 3 applicants that have sent in their statements to the Board of Select people. This morning, there was actually another person who wanted to audit, just kind of sit into a couple meetings and just see what it was all about, but has not had submitted a statement at this point.
All right, well, that's always good to have somebody in the
Waiting in
runway
the
for
wings.
the next particular position that may become vacant or open to available.
Yes, that
Okay.
was an excellent question. Thank you, Richard.
Thank
Any
you.
other discussion, questions? Simon?
Janet, you were referring to Oscar.
You know what? I'm sorry, Oscar, I feel like a total jerk, but I I was trying to remember, I wrote it down somewhere, but it was not on my minutes. So I was pretty sure that's who you were, but I wasn't 100% sure. I'm embarrassed to admit.
Yeah,
Oscar,
yeah, no,
welcome.
I'm here to audit. I admittedly am not entirely schooled in the procedures of getting involved in this, but I spoke to Simon back in September about this committee, and I'm definitely interested. And so I guess this would be my first foray into live and in person. So had I known, I might have submitted a petition, but I gather maybe I'm too late. But as someone said, better late than never. So.
Well, just so you know, there's a few more people who are coming to term this year, and so they just have to decide what they're choosing to do. I had to step down because I'm now elected selectwoman. Priscilla Pavel, who is our other selectwoman, has stepped down also, and Lee Pryor no longer lives in Cornwall, so he stepped down also. So we have 3 spots at the moment, and then a few other people have to make some decisions what they want to do moving forward. So there may be an opportunity. I would encourage you to audit another meeting or so. And if you're welcome to call me as well if you'd like to talk a little bit more about EDC. I've done it for 10 years. I'm happy to talk to you and we can have coffee or whatever. But I'm anybody who's got some skills and the interest and a little bit of time are most welcome to this committee.
Sure. No,
Also, there's
I'd be
a lot
delighted
of
to do that.
available space to participate in doing a lot of things, because a lot of energy is in fact necessary. One of the things that if you're not specifically a appointed member would be a voting ability, but that wouldn't preclude you from participating in doing things or in conversation as a member of the public.
Which is what Bill did, and that's how he got to know the committee. Last year he was working with Bianca and the artists on the window project on the 12.
So, yes. So what I'm saying is encouraging Oscar to continue to follow along and then.
Yeah, I think where the rubber met the road with Simon and I was talking a little bit more about online presence. I'm not putting myself out there as sort of a social media guru, but I've taken upon myself to sort of promote the 3 guys and a couple other stores to the Litchfield Magazine on Instagram and trying to get some of that online presence, because there's a lot going on around us on social media, whether you like it or not. I don't particularly like it, but it's real. It's what we have to live with.
Yes.
A lot of our towns around us are getting the benefit from social media that I don't think we are, and it's a lot of it's free. You don't need to allocate any capital towards it. It just takes someone the time and the effort to make these people pay attention to us, and I've been doing that anyway. But I think with a little bit of a calling card that actually has a Cornwall email address or whatever it is the EDC gets, you get a little more credibility behind it. So I've been doing some of that already, but that's how Simon and I started talking about.
Excellent. Well, I would love to talk to you. I will put my email in chat, Oscar, if that's okay with you.
Great. Yeah.
And we can have a conversation about that.
Can we check if there isn't another open spot? Because so many people stepping down now, you, Priscilla, and Lee. If I remember correctly, I think that there should be another open spot there.
I'm that open spot.
Well, I don't think you've made the decision, have you?
Basically, I've told if I am absolutely necessary, I will, but I mean, this is my 5th board and I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm not able to devote the time to everything that I need to.
I'm not sure
Like
that's a
if somebody's
decision.
really, if somebody's really eager to be on there or to be on the EDC and has a lot to contribute that's new, I'm glad to open it up to somebody else who wants to be on there.
Okay.
That's
Well,
my feeling about
let's keep our discussion germane to the motion. But Kate, first of all, I really appreciate it. And Oscar, let's have a conversation and I can just fill you in a little bit about, what's been happening and all that kind of good stuff. Makes
Fair
sense?
enough.
No, but really appreciate you, showing up. You're always welcome at all the meetings, whether you choose to join the board or not. Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. Is there any more discussion? Okay, seeing none. I see none, I'm sure. Okay, seeing none. All those in favor of approving Gary Steinkohl, Bill McLean, and Mayor Rubin as new EDC members, please say aye.
I
Okay, Arnon, okay.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, then the motion carries. So folks, welcome aboard. We're happy to have you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. All right, let's get to, and I will have a conversation with each of you just to kind of, Arnon's got the party hat going. Thank you, Arnon. I love that. So let's, I'll have a conversation with you guys and we'll just talk about, the next meeting, just so that you're on board with everything.
So just to clarify, that was a vote to recommend
To the Board of Selectmen.
Gary, Bill, and Mayor to the Board of Selectmen for appointment.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Great.
and I think I voted.
May I
Oh,
ask a process question, Janet?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I was just curious, is it always at this time of year? I mean, just for my own knowledge, is it always at this time of year where the board, recommends new appointees and then January is the official start, or is it not always so clean
No,
annually?
it's not that clean. I mean, it just so
Okay.
happens that this year we had a kind of a glut of people whose terms ended. Because usually there's only like one or two, usually one personal roll off. And then it's kind of not that big a deal. But this year's just a little bit odd. Terms end in November. So then you have to get some people, and what you do is you then have them join the meeting. The Board of Selectmen will meet next week, I think. And then, then you guys will be recommended. I would be very surprised if there's any issue with that vote. But that is the next step. And then after that, the Board of Selectmen will then send a formal letter saying, hey, you're in the EDC. Your term is here. I think it's a 3-year term. Is that right, Gordon? For EDC is.
I didn't get that last part.
The
Janet, what was the
EDC
question?
is a 3-year term, correcto?
Yeah, so what happens is that there's 10 people on the EDC every year, 3 people's terms up, so they're staggered terms. So this is actually pretty routine, and the Board of Selectmen fills those vacancies if people don't want to continue, then after the municipal election, most town boards have vacancies or adjustments that need to be made. So we're making literally a couple dozen. We have a couple of dozen vacancies that are open now, and we are advertising those vacancies in the Chronicle issue that's about to come out. One other thing I'm working on with the town clerk is that in order to be on here, you have to be elector of the town, and we also have to make sure there is minority representation. So not more than 6 people can be of the same party. So we have to balance all that out in things. But anyway, thank you all for volunteering. And again, there's plenty of opportunity to do things here. So I like the new energy, and getting, more things accomplished. So, thank you. So we should make a decision on this, I would think, next week, and then you take office immediately for your term.
Yeah,
Short
and
answer.
then,
Thanks.
one of the other things that you, well, I'll discuss that next, never mind. All right, so I'll send a letter out tonight, just saying that these, that this group had voted. I will take my vote out. I don't, not that that matters, but just so you know, I mean, I did recuse myself, and then of course I raised my hand like an idiot. So anyway, I've had a long day, people, sorry. Okay, let's move on to holiday plans update. If Bianca and Bill, if you guys want to talk about that.
Sure. All the artists are working, all the windows are assigned. Bianca has sort of a bit of a write-up and a map. I'm assuming, Bianca, it's the sort of the Lakeville Journal that's you're going to sort of reach out to, and you thought worked well last year. Is that right?
Yeah, no,
And-
I've started with promotional activity. The one thing that I had last year gotten the most feedback from was the CT Visit CT website, because last year with COVID and people really looking to find an alternative way to celebrate the holiday season, a lot of people turned to that, and family and kid activities were searched for, and that really brought a lot of people to town. Families who still to this date, thank you for having done what you put together, Bill and Lori. It's just amazing. I mean, people talk about it, and I'm sure they are almost like expecting it to happen again. So that is the first website that I put stuff on, and then I'm starting with Facebook and all these other things. And then I have a little mention in my little ad in the Lakeville Journal as well. And if then the hire by local campaign also draws people to the Cornwall website, it will be on the Cornwall website. So it should get good traction there. And
Right.
social media, and of course, all these other things. And Litchfield Hills, and the, what is it? The Arts Council and all that, Discover Litchfield Hills. It's gonna go everywhere where I usually post things. So it should be pretty
Great.
well broadcasted out there.
We've got a third business that's going to act as a hub this year, which is the the three guys riding ski. They're going to have maps and stuff as well. And then what's nice is that the CCS third grade class is doing a window this year too, which is
sweet.
kind of nice.
Yeah.
So
Nice. Okay, is there anything that you need from anybody on this commission?
no, I mean, the next 2 weeks are going to be fairly busy with doing the physical installs. That's where most of the budget's going to go, with the printing of the maps, the sticker panels, and then the materials needed for installs, motion things and stuff like that. Sorry, Bianca, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead, Bianca.
If we could all like inspire our neighbors in Cornwall Bridge, in West Cornwall, and in Cornwall Village to like light up their houses again.
Oh yeah.
I think that needs to be sort of like an effort that comes from everyone to inspire one another to light up our entire town. I think that is definitely something that we should be doing. And I will also reach out to everyone now that we know when we have our opening celebration for that, which will be the 11th, Saturday, December 11th from 4 till 6. I will talk with the Three Guys Ski and Ride and Bob and the local, that we all have something to offer that can be done outside. So we have, a nice festivity going on. Maybe, people collaborating with Richard's liquor store to bring stuff up this way, to cross promote, to bring maybe, food from, Susie Sweets, the Cornwall Country Market, to just like, get people sort of all involved into the whole thing, to spread the joy a little bit more, as much as we possibly can.
Do you
Great.
want,
Great
do you
idea.
want to do a flyer for the light up the town kind of thing? You want me to put together a flyer for that, Bianca? Would
I
that
think
be
it's probably more talking to people, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
it's, it's the guys, and again, it's the, it's the guys who have the pink house. I know it's not done yet. It'd be great if they would lit it up.
Okay.
It would be
I can
great
talk to
if, no,
Jess.
really, I mean,
Put
if
a
it's
What
not
match
sort of
on
like
Bob
a kind
Ensign?
of,
Did you talk to the e-bike?
I will, I will.
yeah, well, they're participating.
Yeah,
So
right.
they've got a window. And Bain does not have a window this year. Priscilla, he never called me back. So it would be nice if, again, somebody could stick a candle in the window, or something along those lines, so that the houses are not super dark. And
Yeah.
then I forget his name. God, I shouldn't forget his name, but I'm so bad with names. But the guy who lives in that building used to be the deck that's right across the street from
Bruce.
the
Bruce,
local.
Bruce and Sandy.
Bruce, he's got that beautiful truck. You know which one I'm talking about, the
Yeah.
red truck. I'd
I
love
know.
it if he just parked it outside with like a tree in it and some lights. I talked to him about it, but I don't want him to forget, because it would be a great sort of addition to the landscape. But I think that's a good point, is just additional lighting throughout really would help boost.
Okay, cool. We can do that. Bill, I'll talk to you about radio spots too.
Sure, whatever you need. Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, we just got to figure out like when you want them to run, exactly what you want them to say. That kind
Well,
of
I
stuff.
think, the thing is that, remember that the exhibit is up for a month, right? So, it's important to sort of, I think the opening is nice, but I think we also want a re-up, a couple of weeks in, so that as it gets closer, we sort of don't see people come all at once at the beginning and then have it die down, right? It's designed so that it can fill those 3 or 4 weekends prior to Christmas. It'd be great if we sort of re-upped it a little bit halfway through. Bianca, do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think,
Yeah.
once people have come to visit, then it's word of mouth getting out there. Oh, did you go? It's so nice again, blah, blah, blah. And that usually then brings, another wave and another wave.
I mean, if Oscar Anderson there knows of anybody with a good TikTok account following, the opening night or the second night or third night,
Right.
if we can get some word of mouth on that front with a visual aspect to it, that would be,
Really
good
cool.
promotional value as well. So once it gets started, people experience it. If they can then sort of, post that experience, we'll be in good shape.
Maybe we'll invite all the kids from the high school,
Sure.
right?
Yep.
Okay, anything else on holiday plans, Bianca or Bill?
I think that's it.
Okay, just
I
reach out
mean,
if you guys need help.
Let it evolve.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I just wanted to sort of also mention that I think that, there were sort of probably overly ambitious plans to sort of do the sort of Santa meet and greet in Cornwall Bridge. We talked to Harold. He was receptive and open to that. I want to sort of mention that he was up for us letting us use that part of his store. But then there's just not enough hours in the day to do it.
Yeah, sure.
And the other idea was the sort of the trees around the business trees, but I think that also just took too much effort. But
Well, as Bianca said, let
anyway.
it evolve, man,
Let it evolve.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, I can tell you that my whole family, and we had invited a bunch of friends too, that, because we weren't able to see them other than outside last year. It was
Yeah.
really wonderful. I mean, I thought it was really fun.
I was also wondering, I don't know if Gordon is still sort of listening or not, but
It is.
I was wondering if it is possible at all to open up, like, for instance, if you were to sort of open up that Cornwall Bridge Green area and say that any sort of family or business or anything could sort of just put up their own tree with solar powered lights, right? You would have to be solar powered because there's no electric, and sort of make it a sort of an open invitation. Put a sign that says like your family name and that you put up a tree, and see if that could sort of organically get people to sort of do it. I don't really know. But maybe it was just kind of an open invitation. It would be fun, sort of another tradition. I'm sure we would do it. We would put a little tree that says McLean, and it would be fun. And then you drive past it, it's like, that's our tree, just an idea.
We would say that too, Bill.
But I think
Bill's
what
tree.
what might be fun there too, down in Cornwall Bridge, is do something where every different, because we are not all celebrating Christmas. You have Jewish people, you have all kinds of,
True.
To have maybe that as a triangle in the future to showcase different ways of celebration, to bring all that together, because in a way we are all different, but we're all the same. We cherish our traditions. And I think that then always sparks a little bit of a discussion on, oh, how do you celebrate? Because I find it always fascinating how other people celebrate various different holidays, and
Yes.
what emotional value is behind that. Christmas often is just about presents, but there's also other stuff behind there, what a tradition that you grew up with. And I think that can be really charming. And once, once COVID fades away a little bit more, I think we have more opportunities maybe to have like storytelling or things like that, maybe, but I think we can, build on what we've been doing for the last 2 years. And I
Okay,
think
do
sitting,
you want that to be word of mouth? Do you want to try to do that in social media? How do you want to try to get that word out? And I mean, are there any issues
Right.
from the town perspective on, if somebody puts a 64-foot tree and it falls over and, whacks Bill in the coconut, what do we do?
Who do you sue?
Yeah, right. I don't think so.
Who's liable for the tree? Well, they put it up. It's the Carlson's tree.
Right.
So they're going to be sued for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the sort of the last question I sort of had is that there is not in Cornwall a sort of proverbial ball drop event, is there?
Not, for New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
Right. Okay.
You gonna drop a ball this year?
No, I'm just,
Might be another fun thing to do.
It's look, every New Year's people are sort of house hopping and going to different parties. I wonder if there was a sort of a place where there was sort of a ball drop in Cornwall. If that would be a welcome thing. I'm not sure. But.
Well, I would show up, Bill.
All right. Thank you. Sorry.
All right.
That's the
No,
update.
that's so
Sorry
cool.
if it took too long.
No, we're looking for new ideas, so don't hold yourself back. Okay, so at the next meeting, you will elect new officers. So you'll elect a chair, a vice chair, a secretary, and a treasurer. Anybody who has those jobs currently, if they have a burning desire to keep that job, then you can say so at that meeting. As I said, I've stepped down as an EDC member. I'm an EDC member emeritus. The Board of Selectmen empowered me to run this meeting and the next one until the new officers are elected, and then they will take over. I did think it was appropriate for that next team of people to put together the goals. It just made a heck of a lot more sense. There's some things that are put in place, but there's opportunity to craft those goals for the next 6 months too. Any questions about that? So just think about it. I'll send out an email to everybody, anybody who's not here this evening, so that they're aware of that. Okay, we are looking for any other comments from the board. Okay, seeing none, we'll move to public comment. Is there any public comment this evening? I don't see anything. Okay, seeing none. Anything else from the board? Any last minute comments of any kind? Okay. The next meeting is December 28th at 7:30 p.m. It will be done via Zoom. Richard, I apologize. I know, but I apologize. I was a couple minutes late just because I had to sign out of one account because I realized all of a sudden that I was not in the right account to do the Zoom meeting, and it's saying you can't start it without waiting to the host. So I was already frustrated with myself. So I apologize that that got off to a little bit of a rocky start. Okay. Peace. Thank you. All right. So the next meeting is December 28th at 7:30. If you do want to be considered for a position, be it chair, vice chair, secretary, or treasurer, get your stump speech going and be ready to do that. And we'll look forward to hearing that. All right. If there's no other comments, I'll take a motion to end the meeting.
Motion made.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Right. All right. Thank you guys so much. And thank you guys for who have stepped up. And Oscar, thanks for stopping in. All right. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.